So in this panel, we are going to start with the Brazilian participation at CERN. And we are going to have connecting remotely Mr. Carlos Matsumoto, which is the head of international cooperations for the Ministry of Science of Brazil, and Rafael Navarro, who serves as the Industrial Liaison Officer of Brazil at CERN. Also present here in person will be Antonio José Roque, the General Director of CNPEN, and also Inácio Bediaga, from President of RENAFAI, and also coordinator of the INCT CERN project in Brazil. So the idea is that for the panels, each panelist is going to give a 10-minute introduction to the topic, and then we are going to follow with 20 minutes discussion and questions from the audience. Since we have a presentation from Zé Roque and Ignacio, and the Carlos and Rafael are connecting remotely, I think you can still sit here for the moment, and then we move to the front for the discussion. So the first one is Carlos Matsumoto. So please, Carlos, thank you very much for your availability, and it's a pleasure to hear you speaking about the process of association of Brazil to CERN. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ulisses, and thank you, CLAF and CERN, for the invitation. Yes, I'm now, as you may know, I'm covering Professor Galvão, that's supposed to speak in this session, but we understand that he's now a very busy person due to his responsibility in the Chamber of Deputies. And yes, the idea here is to. I also would like to say hello to my colleagues from of this panel, Rafael, Zé Roque, and Inácio. We have a lot of interactions due to our activities, international cooperation between ministry, of course, and the research community. And what I'm supposed to do here is just explain a little bit the process, the procedures that we did for the accession to CERN as associate member. And I was able to participate in a big part of this process. I'm here in the Office for International Affairs at the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation since 2013. So when I start my work here, the ministry, the CERN NMCTI dialogue for the accession process was already started. And I remember that for several times we had the chance to talk with CBPF and RENAFAI, with Scheller at that time, and also other researchers. But it was not an easy way. It was several moments of back and forth, and maybe this experience is also interesting to you to hear. But the idea to become associate members, such as associate member of CERN, started, of course, because we had, since the beginning of the creation of CERN, the participation of Brazilian researchers in the experiment. So since the 50s, and then I think in the 80s and in 1990, we have a more structured collaboration here from the ministry through CNPq. We signed some cooperation agreements. The first one, I think, in 1990, and then it was renewed for some times. And we of course have a very good participation in CERN experiments. I have some data here from 2022. I don't know if it's updated, but with information that 132 Brazilian researchers with Brazilian nationality used CERN's infrastructure to develop their studies. And this number is higher than some of full members. And I think maybe the biggest among the associate member states. So in 2010, of course, as you know, CERN expanded the possibility for non-European countries to become associate members. And with this possibility, and considering, of course, the historical volume of cooperation with CERN, a working group was created in 2010 by our former minister, Sérgio Rezende, to study the possibility of Brazil becoming an associate member. And as a result of this working group, it was signed a declaration of intent between CERN and MCTI, in which Brazil showed the willingness to join as associate member. And following this signature, the accession process continued through a creation of a task force from CERN in 2012, and to analyze the Brazilian application to the organization. And we received in 2014 the draft of the accession agreement, and it was initially approved by MCTI. But between 2014 and 2019, we have a gap there that the accession process was stopped, and it was blocked for 5 years. And I will mention this because the main constraints, and in the Brazilian case, of course, it was never a merit or a technical constraint. It was always a problem of finance and how to fund the Brazilian participation. Of course, there are priorities, and of course, this administration was very keen to finalize and conclude the accession agreement. But I must say that the previous administration, that the ministry who signed the agreement in 2022 was also very active in relaunch the negotiations and to sign the agreement. So this was an endeavor that involved different governments, and maybe this is something very important to mention to this, because to become a member in an international organization, this must be a policy of state, not a foreign policy of a specific government. And in the case of CERN, that is a very important in terms of scientific and technological aspect. This is a main aspect that we should take into consideration, how several governments in different political views, they can keep this process going to achieve the conclusion of the accession procedure. So, as I mentioned, in March 2022, Brazil signed the agreement, and we sent this year, the same year, to the National Congress for approval. We have specific problems relating to our national budget law that had some modifications during that time. So we have more, we take more time to finalize, but in March 2024, we concluded with the ratification of the protocol. Specifically, what we took into consideration to move forward the process. As you know, we have, as bureaucrats in each of governments, we also can support this kind of decision-making process. So what we did and took to, of course, with scientific community, CERN users, companies, CNI was a very good partner in this specific case. We took some a list of benefits for the accession, in the way that the senior officials could understand the importance, and also take this decision to President and to the Congress. So in the list that we took to the minister, is, of course, the most important one, and I think Rafael will be able to talk more about this. It was the possibility to participate in the procurement process and the opportunity for national industries to provide technological products and services to CERN. So this is something that was very appealing for the government to participate, since in the experiments our scientific community already had the participation in several decades ago. So this was a very important point. Of course, we had to make we have also the access to specific jobs and training of skilled national workforce. We are working in this sense right now to take more people from Brazil to work in CERN as in engineers, researchers, scientists, but also technical people for medium-term positions and internships in CERN. The cooperation with Sirius and CNPq, I think Zehok will mention specific this point, so I'm not taking to these details, but it's something that for us it would be an opportunity to how integrate and make more synergies between our biggest facility to CERN. They have different purpose, but the idea of the engineer part would be very benefited for this interaction as Brazil in the situation of associate member. Of course, we took it also into consideration the topics of advanced material and strategic minerals. Back then, it was not like what we are seeing now in the international scenario, the importance that strategic minerals have right now, but it was something that we took into consideration. Also, a knowledge transfer in various areas of science, technology, innovation, and also the participation of Brazil in shaping the global scientific agenda. I think CERN provides us this aspect that Brazil, in terms of the role that Brazil wants to play as a scientific international player, this would be very important as well. And other two topics related to specific programs of CERN in terms of entrepreneurship and how we can work with startups and companies that are spillovers of CERN activities, and the popularization and dissemination of science. So as I mentioned to you, the biggest constraints that we had in this long process was due to the contribution, because as you know, Brazil participates in several international organizations. This is a specific one. It's not like UN contribution, but has, because it has, of course, a very pragmatic part of the association, but also it's the resources come from the same pot. So it's an internal discussion to elaborate the budget in order to include this kind of contribution, but something that we were able to discuss with Congress and executive, and also with the partners outside governments, to show the importance to do that. And of course, the possibility to have this status of associated member, not a full member, that we just pay a part of the full membership, also helped us a lot in convince internally to move on. And just to finalize, just to inform that the idea to become a member of CERN, it is, in this government, it's a part of a bigger strategy that we have to strengthen national research infrastructure. We have a program here, it's called ProInfra, that is due to the national funds that now we have through FNDCT, that's the main national fund for science, technology, innovation. we're able to recover and expand national infrastructure, but also in international cooperation to access international research infrastructure and participation in larger international experiments. So we have for example, United Kingdom, we will launch Amazon Face. It's a big infrastructure in the heart of Amazon forest for climate change studies. We have the Atto Tower with Germany, also in Amazon. We are building the Brazilian multipurpose reactor with Argentina. I think maybe Zé Roque could talk about this. We are investing in the Orion, is the biosafety lab in level 4. That's also related to the Sirius line beams expansion. And for the Orion, have several international partnerships, including Germany, I think US, and we also with China are building now our first geo satellite. It's a meteorological one, the first one that Brazil will develop. It's a CBERS 5 geostationary satellite. We are funding Unicamp in experiment in June with the US, and we became also a member of Eureka, the largest innovation research innovation network with European countries, but also Canada, South Africa, South Korea, and so on. So this is a national effort to have more access to bigger experiments and internationally, and also provide conditions in terms of infrastructure to our researchers. So I think that's it. Thank you very much.